Hey guys, this is Jen DeLeon, and I am so excited to be talking to David Sabastian today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Better that I'm here.
Good. We first need to talk about the outfit. I was telling you off camera, I feel so plain.
Well, I
That's
mean,
it.
when you're a beautiful woman, you don't got to do too much.
But
I'm
I
just me, so I had to.
but I would look better with the jacket and become a little more like stylish.
I won't
So
argue
yes.
about that, but you look great. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
So we need to talk about the project God Save the Rave. So this is your first collaboration with drama. So how did that collaboration come about?
It came about through a DM.
Oh,
It's just a
okay.
random DM. My partner who helps run the label with me, Sarah, she just like randomly DMs people from my account, and he just ended up hitting back like, "I fuck with what you do," and a week later we did the album.
Nice. Is there any other person that your partner has DM where you were shocked, like, oh, they responded?
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez? That's a great one.
It's been a
That's a
couple
good,
people, but
yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it crazy how much social media has changed just the way we communicate? And it's just so easy to really get to anybody.
It's easy,
Okay.
but it depends. Like, I got a blue check. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would just respond, but it definitely is easier because without it, I wouldn't be able to talk to Drama or Jennifer Lopez or any of them.
Yeah. I
Talking
don't
to A Track, a bunch of people, just like
yeah.
randomly. Yeah,
I don't have the blue check on Instagram yet. I had it on Twitter. I have it on Twitter and Facebook, but I'm like, I want the Instagram one
you get it
because
on Twitter
you
now for
know
two
that.
dollars. So
Yeah, which is stupid, where it's just like, oh, everyone is, but with the Instagram where it's like how it's filtered, I'd be DMing everybody, like just to like work with them. But
yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, that's a great one. That's a
Mhm.
really, really great one. So I'm excited to talk to you about this project because I really loved it because it's so raw and you hit so many different points that are very relatable. So what I like to do
Mm,
is I want to pick some of my favorite songs and lyrics and we're going to break those down
please,
specifically.
I'm
So
excited.
first one, success is the greatest revenge. When did you realize success is the greatest revenge?
Um, since a child, a lot of us grow up with this insatiable desire to want to get revenge on people who might have
Mhm.
wronged us, the bully, the girl who didn't, blah blah blah. I remember when I was a kid, like I had a crush on this girl named Mimi in like third grade, and I brought her this big bouquet, and she just threw it on the floor and just stepped on it. And as a kid, I was like, one day I'm gonna fucking be famous and da, da, da. But as you get older, like me now, like I just wish love for anyone who like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But being successful is really relative, but I just
Mm,
feel like it's the greatest revenge because the best thing you can do is just be your higher self,
mhm.
you know? So yeah,
Can't believe Mimi did that. I hope
yeah.
Mimi now will probably try to slide in your DMs. You're like, you're the girl who stepped on my bouquet.
There's been a couple women from childhood who did really fucking traumatic things who I've
Yeah.
seen now and they're like, so proud of you. Let's go there. I'm like,
Do you remind them of what they did?
nah, I just don't
Yeah.
respond.
Well, I'm sure that feels good too, where it's like it's sad too because back in childhood, when you have your first crushes, it's like when you're a child, you think that's going to be like the love that lasts forever, and you don't
Yeah,
know anything. So
yeah,
that is sad, but
yeah,
I'm glad that now your outlook on it is success is the greatest revenge.
yeah.
Is there any part of your success where you're like, that's my not in a sense of, oh, that's my revenge moment, but the success you achieve where you're like, okay, like I'm there, nothing else bothers me, and that was your key moment?
I mean, just being able to create art and pay my rent is a successful moment. You gotta think about
Rent
how
in LA too.
rent in
So,
LA, I
yeah.
mean, especially my rent,
Yeah.
like my rent is crazy. But beyond that, like I've been a starving, struggling artist for a long time, and like all of my money just went to creating and this, and living in my office and friends' houses to their couches to, to now
Yeah.
penthouses. And just to be able to do what I love and be able to eat what I want is a successful moment for me. I have so many more accolades to achieve, but I'm just grateful for that.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
It's not food.
Okay. Fair. You talk about that in the project too. Outside of what actual food is
um, so like I'm going on this like raw kind of thing, but I have to say meat, like a
okay.
nice Japanese A5 seared wagyu is amazing. I love pasta. I'm a big foodie. Like I love
Do you know
food,
how to
so
cook?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to
Super
cook
just to
probably
cook.
as good as I know how to rap. Like I know how to cook. So yeah, I'd have to say steak.
Steak.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Next one, and do it like that. So this was my favorite. Study the law of attraction. Most of these hold a distraction. For those who haven't studied the law of attraction,
Yeah.
what is your favorite part about it, and what have you learned
Okay.
from
Can you zoom into my face? This one's gonna be a
it? There's a
so
close up on you too on that one.
okay, cool. The law of attraction. Obviously we've seen like the movie The Secret. You ever watched that
Yes.
movie? But there's a secret behind the secret, and that really is in order to attract with you what you have to be what you want to attract. You know, a lot of people, let's say you want a boyfriend who's amazing, smart, accomplished, clean, all of these things. The only way to get that person is to be that person. So you want to be rich. Um, what do rich people do? How do rich people act? Where do rich people go? Where do they spend their time? You
Mhm.
know, a lot of people think you could just send out well wishes and be like, "I'm rich," and then it is. That's part of it. But in order to really get what you want, you have to be what you want, and that was something that I had to learn along. You know, it took me a long time to understand it. Like I was like, okay, I want to be a fashion designer, right? I didn't go to school for it. I don't have any degrees, you know. What do fashion designers do? How do they spend their time? Where are they at? What kind of atelier? Da, da, da. And just I put myself into that pattern, that frequency. And once you vibrate on that frequency, then the universe just gives you the tools to be it. So
Was there a specific moment when you started to be the fashion designer that you want to be, where you're like, oh shit, this actually really does work?
I mean, I've been faking it till I make it my whole fucking life. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just I've always been, even when I had nothing
Mm,
monetarily, I've always been it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
look at me now. Like I'm
Did you have to
just
be that person?
you have to be that
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Okay. The second part of the line, most of these hoes a distraction. What's a hoe that's not a distraction?
Um, someone who's focused on her own thing, you know? A lot of times in relationships, people bleed into each other. They merge their identities together. And I've realized, at least with me, the relationships I've been with, like I'll find a girl who's like gorgeous and smart and all of these things, and then she'll meet me, and then her life will become my life. And then that's when the distraction happens. I think separating, like you do you, I do me. And when we come together, we can enjoy each other, but don't get with me and then become me, because
Mhm.
then I got to focus on you more than what I'm doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a distraction.
Okay. The next one, The Devil is a Liar. This honestly was my favorite one on
Mm,
the project. And the reason it's my favorite is because you rap about so many different scenarios that most people wouldn't admit.
yeah.
So some of those, it's the devil is in your fear. He's the voices that you hear, the person staring at you when you get dressed in the mirror. And sorry if I butcher any of
No,
these.
that was
This
it.
was
That
off
was
of,
good. That was
me
amazing.
listening to it. He'll give you pussy and power and make you a millionaire. That one, I was like, wow, like again, because no one really talks about that. And then you're scared to
Damn, I
go
need
to
to do.
hell.
You know what's so funny is like that was a lot of people's favorite song on the album,
Yeah.
and like I made this album as kind of like a Trojan horse. You know, like what the Trojan horse was in Rome, how like they snuck through the gates in this big like Trojan horse.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to make like more like ignorant music that like people will fuck with just on some club shit,
Yeah.
and then sneak in the conscious shit.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people are ready for conscious shit. So I'm really surprised that that was your favorite record, but I'm appreciative.
It was because it really off of the top of my head, it's just like I remember it's how you're rapping about it, you're talking about what someone might be thinking, but wouldn't say it out loud.
For
So
sure.
that's why it was so relatable, because it's like you're not the only person who's thought that,
sure.
but you are speaking on it. So that's why I liked it, because it was so raw and authentic. So even with that song, what's a fear that you've overcome?
The fear to be myself. I've always been kind of a fearless fucking human being, but growing up, you get ridiculed by the young girl who doesn't quite know herself yet, so she wants to put you down, or the teacher who just looks at you as a paycheck, or your parents. My father left me when I was a child, so you just grow up feeling less than because of everyone else's opinion, and sometimes that can stagnate you from becoming who you really are. So I think the biggest fear I've overcome was the fear of living my truth and being exactly who I am.
Mhm. And if you were to describe it, like if David Sebastian was in the dictionary, what would the definition be of describing who you are?
That's a good question. um I'm everything. I'm all of the above. I'm the unsolvable equation. I'm the X to the Y to the Z. You know what I mean? I'm an anomaly. Like, the closest thing you would say is like I'm a like I don't even every day that goes by I feel less and less like a fucking human being. Like, I don't even feel human anymore because my thoughts manifest at such a high rate, and my creativity is boundless. I don't know, I just feel so connected to everything.
Mm,
So, yeah, I'm everything.
I like that. It's simple, but
Everything.
encompasses everything in that definition. Again, so because the song is "The Devil Is a Liar," so how do you overcome the devil and the negativity that comes with that?
I don't think you can overcome the devil.
Right.
I think yin yang, right? As
Mhm.
above, so below. This universe is comprised. Like, have you ever seen a one-sided piece of paper?
No,
No, right?
no, I haven't.
There's another side to this wall, right?
Yeah.
Everything has two sides. So, in order for there to be good, there must be evil.
Mhm.
Ego. Everyone's like, kill your ego. I think you can't really kill your ego. You need your ego. Your ego is the thing that gives you a fucking identity. I think it's just being aware of it. Being aware of the devil on your shoulder. So when he's like, go do this, you're like, shut the fuck up. Nah, I'm good. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
definitely need to start using that. Shut the
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, just
Usually,
be
just
like,
like
shut the fuck up. Because you hear it. You're like, maybe you should just be like,
I forgot what the exact line was. You can remind me of it, but it made me think of wanting to ask this question about sometimes you think something is God, but then it's the devil. So I think it was to the he'll give you pussy and power, make you a millionaire. So
yeah,
some people might look at that as, oh, it's a blessing from God, but then also that could be like the devil. So
yeah,
how do you
different.
distinguish between the two?
Um, everything. I hate to get so like deep,
No,
but
please do.
I
Please
just
do.
like everything is a tool, right? Everything. And intention is what separates um what something is, right? So you give someone $100 million, that could be a blessing depending on their intention behind it. They could use that to feed the sick, to build, housing for the homeless, to help cure disease, whatever, right? Or they can buy a meth lab and fucking sell meth. I think it's just all about intention. God will give you the tools you need to be your highest self. What you do with those tools are, you
Up to
know,
you.
up to you.
Yes. Two more songs that I wanted to break down. So snakes. What are the signs of a snake?
Oh man, I've just being my own man, right? Being my own man, being a leader in my own right, being successful at what I do. It's natural that people will there will always be a nigga hating on you. Jesus had Judas, Caesar had Brutus. You know,
That should have been in the song. That line.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be someone who wants to be you, wants what you have. And now I am so protective of my energy that the second a nigga looks at me differently, like even if I just see a glare of jealousy in your eyes, I'm done. I can't even let it next to me because a weak link can destroy everything you're building. So um it's just an energy thing. Really, it's just an energy. It could be, I don't know. I'm so sensitive now. Like a motherfucker could give me a handshake and I'm like, I can't talk to this person.
It's so funny. I was just doing an interview before you, and he had shook my hand. I'm like, I judge people off of their handshake, and he was so thrown off. I'm like, no, it's like it's based off of like how firm you are when you do it, or when you usually shake a hand with a woman, they'll do like the soft
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
caressing. I'm like, why are you doing that? Now it's like I don't feel like the confidence, or I feel like.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about that. So
What
you said
did
if
I give you a
anyone,
hug? I give you a hug.
yes,
No.
yes.
Do you judge someone off a hug?
No, I hug everybody, so it's like, but the handshake, it's you can feel that even if you meet other like
You
women,
know how I
there's just
shake
like
women's
two.
hands?
How? Oh, see, that's different. See, but then other people go like this. It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
shake my hand. Like, that's a cool way to shake a hand. Okay, the last one, specialty.
Mhm.
I got a couple of addictions. Talking that shit is one of them. What are your
I didn't
other?
say that shit. Drama said that. And I guess he likes to talk shit.
Do you have any addictions that you can relate to?
Sex and food. That's my only addictions.
Okay.
And I'm working on both of them. So
Well, that's good that you're aware of it and working at it.
I'm aware of it and I am working on it. Like I said, the food shit, I'm going on a raw cleanse, so I'm not gonna be eating any meat. And I'm going to be celibate to the new year. So I'm working on that shit too.
That's amazing because a lot of people can't really do that. So I respect what made you want to make that decision?
Uh, just fucking takes a lot of time out of your day. I'm joking. No, but seriously, yeah. Just wanting to be focused, man. Energetically speaking, when you share energy with people, you can often be depleted, especially if those people aren't on your energetic kind of thing. And I just found myself sharing and expelling a lot of energy with people who might not reciprocate that. And it's like, for what? You know what I mean? So I've just decided to try to do something new. I mean, it's different because I'm very Shakespearean. I poeticize everything. Most men, most guys, they fuck for ego. I don't know if you know that, but like most guys, like when they're just trying to get pussy, they're not
Yeah.
even doing it for a sensation. They're doing it to show themselves that they can and that they're a man. You know, like men are natural conquerors, and that's not me. I don't do it to prove anything to myself. I know who I am. I do it because I just love the act. I think it's the closest you can get to God because you're the most present. Um, and it inspires my music, it inspires my art, it inspires a lot, but I could find other inspiration in other things.
So I like that you already have a goal for the remainder of the year. What are some of your goals for 2023, whether it's with music or art? Because I know you do beyond just you, like you said, you do everything.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know yet. I normally sit down in front of a massive piece of paper and I map out my goals. And I haven't done that yet because I kind of want to really focus on some things. I'm normally spread out. I'm like doing art, I'm doing fashion, I'm doing this. We're working on a runway show. Da, da, da. Now I got to do an album. But for 2023, I really want to hone in and kind of focus on like a few, like maybe two things and just maximize those. So that's a goal. My goal is to narrow down my goals.
That's a great goal. Well, a great problem to have where you have to narrow it down. Do you have any advice when it comes to
It's a
balancing?
double
Yeah.
edged. Honestly, being a fucking genius is a double edged sword. It really is. Being able to do anything and do it really really well is almost as much of a curse as it is as a gift because you okay, most people that I've seen with successful clothing brands, for instance, right? A lot of them aren't really creative at all. Like I know personally some people who have made 50, 60 million dollars off their brand and they have no creativity. They literally just did one thing, right? And they might have even stolen that fucking idea. And they just got that one idea and they just do that shit over and over and over and over and over and it yields what it is, where me, I'll have that idea and then I'll do it for like 3 days, and then I have a better idea, and then I'll do that for 5 days, and I just keep creating ideas, and it's just like a never-ending surplus of creativity. Where if I could only rap, I would only be rapping. If I could only design clothes, I would only be designing clothes. So definitely 2023, honing in on like I'm just gonna do like one thing.
Just one thing. Do you, well, even though you're going to be narrowing down the goals for in 2023, being like the way that you've been successful and balance all these different things, do you have advice for people who are talented in many different buckets and how to balance everything that they have going on?
Um, yeah. I would say I wouldn't actually. I don't know what to tell those people because at the end of the day, go with your gut. Go with. I mean, there's a thousand ways to skin a cat, right? I don't know who came up with that saying. It's kind of weird, but you know what I mean. Who's out here
Yeah,
just
like
skinning cats? But um, there's a lot of ways for you to get to where you want to be, right? And I would just say be smart. Sometimes you got to pick what has the biggest trajectory. You know what I mean? Like for me, I do a lot of things, but like music, if a hit record, right, would open up a lot of doors for me to make everything else I'm doing a little bit more easier. So really just putting your cards on the table. I tell everyone to do this, like take inventory of your life, right? And say, okay, I do this, I have this, I do this, and like look at all your tools and then be like, what is my biggest picture? Actually, I have a better answer. It just came to me. What is your why? I tell people this all the time. Interns, people's like, yo, how do I do it? I said, start with your why. Your why will navigate everything. You want to be a designer? Why? You want to be a rapper? Why? You want to be a fucking astrophysicist, an engineer? Why? And then really get to and keep asking yourself because I want to why? Because of the why? And get to the root of your why, and then you'll see if you haven't like if your why isn't strong enough, then you shouldn't do it. So
that's deep. I like that a lot. I feel like we need to, before we end the interview, we need to come up with a better saying of there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
um, there's 10,000 ways to jerk off a cow.
I like that better. It's funnier. So,
Yeah.
David, it was so great to talk to you.
It's a
Very
pleasure.
motivational. Thank you for breaking down the project. And I am looking forward to talking to you in 2023 about your narrowed goals and
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're focused on then.
I mean, you'll see them. You'll see
Yes,
them grow into fruition.
I will manifest all of that.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
thank you.
appreciate the platform and the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Thank you.